Hello, hello, and welcome, Rob. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm so excited to learn all about AI avatar creation today. Hey, Jen, and then also a little bit of script writing. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, Dasha, so a pleasure to be here. I'm always excited to meet new entrepreneurs and talk about the logistics and how we can always improve our content and our business as a whole. So yeah, what we're gonna talk about is how to create scripts for whether that's your social media, your webinars, or even your VSLs that you're gonna be showing on your website, how to create a script that's actually compelling, that transmits value. So the formula that we use is the same formula that we have on movies, music, books, every favor that you read or listen to uses that exact same formula. And based on that formula, then we're going to move into, hey, what if we have the script and create a limited amount of content on the just in a couple of seconds on the click of a button. So that's what we're going to do today.
Awesome. Let's dive in. Teach me all about script writing. I love chatting about this because I think that everyone has their own like secret sauce. They're all like, this is the best way. And I think the more comfortable you get with AI and using different LLM models even, you get more comfortable with how to talk to them best. So if you're a beginner, like don't feel like there has to be a perfect formula. I think like guidance through this script that Rob has created and then moving forward, like learn as you go. There's no pressure.
Of course. So with script writing, as I said, the secret formula, which is not that secret because if you could look it up, it's all over the internet, but it's one of those things like, okay, we have never actually put in enough time to think about it. So the secret sauce that we have is the three structure scripting, which is the same, as I said, that we use in movies. So what happens first? We set up the plot of the movie. For example, in a superhero movie, we set up the plot like, okay, the superhero is going to start out. This is kind of them on their upbringing. Let's think of Superman, for example. Everyone knows Superman or Batman. Um, they're from Superman's from a different planet. They come to Earth because their parents are trying to save him. And that's the whole plot. That's how we get to know Superman. On the Rise in Action, we see him getting into everyday life. He gets to know that he has these special powers, that he's from a different planet. And then we get into the climax, which is him fighting against the villains, or in some cases, in the newer movies, fighting against just politicians. Then we get the downfall, and then we get to the conclusion. So, how do we apply that to social media, your webinars? It's going to be the exact same process. You're going to set up the plot. Hey, for example, the reason why you're not losing weight is not because you're eating too much, is because you're eating less than you should have, right? That's going to be the plot. You already know, like, oh, me as a client, as a client from a coach, I now understand why I might not be losing that weight. It also triggers me to think. Go ahead.
Also, I love two things about Rob. I didn't even intro you. We'll get to that. People will get the everything that they need in the end of this. But just a fun fact, Rob, your wife, right?
Yes, my
Your
wife.
his wife is a gut health coach. So when you just said that that example, I was like, wow, Rob knows my ideal audience so well. So it's so cool that you also bring this cinematic approach to the script writing, which I think is so unique because oftentimes when we talk about prompt engineering, it's very much structured like boost the ego of ChatGPT. You are the best leading SEO top research. And you're kind of approaching it from more of the storyline, which I think is really cool and also is different than, we're not talking about prompt writing for a client or for something else. We're talking specifically about prompt writing for generating your social media hooks, captions, etc. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So the thing with social media, I mean, you get millions and millions and millions of posts every single day. I mean, every single hour. So how do you stop your clients or your potential clients from scrolling and going through your content? You need to stop them right there and then, right? So that's why we use the whole movie and book formula is for them to kind of put themselves in a position that, first of all, they can relate. Second of all, they can also be like, hey, this kind of triggered me. This made me mad. Let me see what Dasha has to say. Believe it or not, getting people mad or getting people riled up, it's also a good strategy because they're like, what the hell? I need to listen what this is all about, right? But yeah, my wife, lovely wife, she's a dietitian, a coach, gut health focus around that. So I'm not an expert, of course, but that's our conversation every morning, every
Yeah,
day on a
you know
coffee.
the hooks and the storylines. When you told me you shouldn't be eating less, you should be eating more, I was like, this guy knows.
Yeah, absolutely. But going back to the whole hook incident, same thing as a movie. As I said, you need to stop the people from scrolling through your content, right? Then you get to the value portion of the video. That's when you're going to transmit or set yourself as a thought leader on what you're talking about. And having the people experience what you know and why they should listen to you. You already stopped them. Now it's your chance to really explain what you really meant. Same thing as that superhero. You already stopped, you're already hooked into their whole intro. Same thing with Batman. Hey, my parents suffered this incident and now I'm lost in this mansion with my butler and everything's going on. And you sit there through the movie, seeing how that evolves. Same thing with your videos. You're gonna sit there and explain the whole reason why you introduce yourself with that hook. That's your chance to do that. And then we move to the conclusion. Of course, we have this three-step process: hook, value, and conclusion. You can break it down a little bit more, but just to keep it simple, you have to have your videos in three steps: hook, value, and conclusion. Your conclusion can be wrapped up in two different scenarios. Number one, as a wrap up of your value proposition. For example, slow down, chew, breathe. Your gut isn't broken, it just needs to breathe. Or you can also wrap it up with a call to action with a CTA. Hey, if you need extra help with your gut or with your habits, give me a call, send me a DM, and we can go through your process and I can help you out doing this, this, and that. So that's your opportunity to get a better, or not to get a better audience, but to have your audience to engage with yourself, with your website, with your social media profiles, or just close that sale. How are we doing so far, Dasha?
Good. Do you have a document already prepped
I
that goes?
do have a document.
I'm a
So,
visual.
okay, I can share my screen here.
Awesome. Yeah. And then we'll drop this document in the school community. Is that okay with you? Can we share that with people?
That's absolutely okay. We can do that. No
Awesome.
problem. So,
I'll link that for people.
okay, so we'll scroll a little bit up. This is what I was explaining. You have the plot, which is the beginning of the video, the middle, which is you explain the value, and then which we also know as a climax, and then the end, where everything kind of wraps itself up. You get to the CTA. It's like this little curve, right? This is the same structure that movies and books use to keep you engaged. This same process can be applied to a VSL, to a webinar, to short videos. Exact same structure. Now, there's a little hack that I like to use with all my coaches, and that's start with the end in mind. A lot of coaches get stuck in the beginning part of, hey, how do I start? Like, they try to think of it as a linear process of, hey, let me think about the hook first, and then how do I come up with the value, and then how do I come up with the close to action or the conclusion. But a great hack that you can use is start with the end in mind. When before you hit record or you start scripting your video, think of, what do I want my patients, my clients to feel by the end of the video? So, what do you want them to take away? What's the transformation that they need to go away with?
And this is
Where?
where you can get
Mhm.
super, sorry to cut you off. This is where you can
No,
get super
no.
specific, guys. Like
Hmm.
if you know, and storytelling is storytelling, right? So it's all about visuals. So you're imagining your client right now, how, like, I want you to journal out everything. Think about how they wake up in the morning. Are they tired? Are they fatigued? When they go to put on their clothes, do they feel shame because it's not buckling up properly? Do they feel that? Can you visually represent that where you're getting out of bed, you have that thing, or there's some sort of pain point where you feel the burning from the acid reflux? And that's what you want them to feel, the relief. And when you call out your ideal avatar so specifically, that's what makes them convert. Because when you talk so specifically to their pain point, they raise their hand. They raise their hand for you. And so I love that you always say with the end in mind, because you're absolutely right. You want to start with understanding how you want them to transform.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said and explained before, thinking about what they are going to take home, what are they going home with, is the best way to get that value across. I have a great example here. Storytelling is like a workout. You don't go to the gym, open the door to the gym, and you go like, "Oh, what am I doing today?" You don't do that. You go to the gym thinking, today's Thursday, today's leg day. You get to the gym, you already have a plan figured out, right? Same thing with storytelling. You're not going to sit down into your laptop or your notepad or your AI tool just thinking, what am I going to write about today? You really need to think about what's the value that's come first. What's what you want to transmit to your clients? What has been the point of friction with your clients lately? Has that been sticking to the habits? Has that been, hey, what I do when I go to out with my friends? Like, what's the value that you want them to take? So, sort of like a workout, which is the example that I had here. Now, this is the same story arc, and I got this from a great website called Studio Binder, and you can read a lot more about storytelling. They are focused on storytelling. These people really go into the depths of it when it goes to movie scripting and whatnot. But I grabbed that information, and this is how I summarized it for short videos for your social media. And again, webinars, this can also work great. As you can see, we have 3 acts, which is exactly the same that we had before, but this time it's broken down a little bit more. You have the exposition, inside an incident. You have the midpoint. You get the rising action. That's when you really start getting riled up. You get to the climax, which is what you really wanted to hear, and you then slopes down the story, get to the denouement, and it kind of rises up a little bit more when you get to the call to action, when you get to, oh my God, I can fix that for myself, or oh my God, Dasha can help me doing this, and that to get me to my end goal. So I outlined how you can take this 3 act structure on your short videos. So the exposition can be part of the hook, set the stage, grab people's attention, what we already went through. The incident can be the introduction to the problem that you have. Hey, you're not losing weight. The rise in action, build that emotional connection. How do you build that emotional connection with a coach? You can put yourself telling a story. You can be like, hey, I was in your shoes about a year ago. These were the changes that I made. Or something that works great for coaches when you're transmitting that information is, hey, I had this client that went through this process, and you walk through that story and how they evolved and they got to the outcome that they wanted to. That's a great example or a great way to show or tell that story. The climax is shows the peak moment of change. Like, hey, we got to the goal, we lost X amount of pounds, or hey, we got to the goal that now the muscle definition looks a lot better by combining this diet with this workout, etc., etc. And then in the following action, when you already got to the big component of the story, that's when you start wrapping things up. And you can have that, as I said, with a call to action to have get people on the sales call or just wrap up the story. Something that I really want to emphasize, Dasha, is that I see a lot of coaches making the mistake that they want to have a call to action or a sales call to action in every single video. Now, there's something very tricky on marketing these days where it's like, you need to sell without selling. I mean, you're being sold in every way, shape, and form, right? You go to listen to music, if you don't pay, you have ads. You go to your streaming service to watch a movie, you get ads unless you pay a little bit more. You go to YouTube to get into a tutorial, you get ads. People are tired of being sold. So the best way to sell without them knowing they're being sold is I'm going to tell you a story and we're going to connect in some way, shape, or form. And that connection is done by telling stories. People don't want to see it on their Instagram or YouTube watching someone just talking about a fact or being scolded at. They want to build a connection. They want to feel like if they were your friends. Dasha, a quick question for you. What's your favorite TV show?
Um, let's say Modern Family. I loved that show when it was
All
around.
right, Modern Family. Everyone loves Modern Family. Instant classic.
Yeah.
Uh, the thing with Modern Family is what do you feel when you're watching Modern Family? Hey, I feel like I'm actually hanging out with my friends. I feel like that could be my family. I feel like I'm part of that family because you feel like you know them. Same thing with um, social media videos. You want your audience to feel like they know you. With Modern Family, I mean, that's the reason why they have like what, 20 plus seasons at this point?
I love that
Because,
you're saying this too, because I want you to teach me also right now, as soon as we can, how do we set up our own AI avatar? And I also
mhm.
think that this is such a cool dichotomy where it's on one side, you're telling me, hey, let's build connection with these people. And on the other side, you're like, but let me also automate this avatar for you so that you don't actually have to show up on social media because I know most people hate showing up on social media.
And that's the thing, and that's something that, and we're gonna get into the AI avatar thing. We can take all of this part, all of this scripting, and automate it with AI. We have a number of prompts that we can use, and you can use this exact same structure to teach your own AI on how to tell that story for you. So we're gonna get into that in just a moment. But yeah, that's how you get that connection. And then I have here in the doc that we can share with you guys later is when you're recording a webinar or a podcast like this one, things in the real world, they don't go as planned. The climax can be the part where you talk about first in the webinar or the podcast, and you get like by the middle of the podcast, that really good hook to grab people's attention. And the conclusion, it's somewhere mixed around there. That's how we, our editors, take that same webinar and they kind of piece it together as if it were a puzzle. They identify the part on that webinar that's going to hook people, move it to the front, and build that video for you. And that's also part of why with AI, you can remove this process as a whole. AI is gonna, you're gonna tell AI, hey, this is the story that I want to tell. This is what I want to talk about today. Organize it, use it, this structure that we have here, so it makes sense and grabs people's attention, moves them through the rise in action, and then we can close it out with a close to action.
This is so cool. This is awesome. This is so valuable. I mean, everyone here, this should be copied and pasted into your ChatGPT. I mean, I know I have a separate project for social media captions. I just keep feeding it valuable information from the
Mhm.
documents that I collect. And that way it automates a lot of my script writing, caption, hook, etc. What I love what you just said though is an application that I've never actually explored, which is long form content like podcasts, script writing and allowing for the editors to know how to edit your videos properly, use this to build an SOP for your editing team, right? If some people have to like train their own editors or train themselves on how to edit their podcast properly, it's like maybe this you can build your own SOP using ChatGPT to start helping yourself edit the videos. And of course, like I'm going to this is going to be a nail on the head that I always preach and practice. It's like most of these tools and systems are meant to automate your business and simplify time. But at the end of the day, all of us are coaches. And the more that you can outsource to certain tools or certain professionals like Rob, who already have a team that's built to do this for us, that's where we also buy back a lot of our time. So You don't have to feel overwhelmed that, oh, I have to learn how to do all this in ChatGPT. It's more so an exploration. Use what you can, get what you can out of it. But if this is actually something that you want to have someone do it for you, I've been down the rabbit hole trying to learn how to do this myself, and I do not recommend. It's a waste of time. Your energy is pulled from your business. It's not worth it, but it gets really exciting.
It gets really exciting because you get to see that workflow starting to, I mean, work. You see that process going through, and our team, we have, I mean, you can see here in the top search bar, I have a whole SOP library on how to edit using AI, how to edit with just, for example, this webinar and do that for yourself. So you can just go out and talk. Something that I like to transmit with coaches, and something that even coaches have told me is, hey, I built my business to coach other people and to transmit my message to help people out there, not to record videos, not to edit videos. And that's one of the things that really is going on in today's entrepreneurship world. You start this whole business, you don't think about the fact that, oh, now I have to make videos. Something that didn't happen, what, 10 years ago? So you didn't start this business to edit videos. Building out SOPs like this one is really going to help you out, kind of narrow that down. As Dasha said, on our team, we have, I mean, years and years and backup of SOPs on how to really outline this for you guys. So um, it's a
This is
process that's really exciting.
This is a
Mhm.
starting point for all of us to get our toes wet into the ocean. I always like to say, I'm not throwing you into the middle of the ocean, not teaching you how to swim. This is all new to all of us. So let's bring you to the beach. Let's all dip our toes into the water, see how comfortable we can get. But what I'm most excited about, let's build an avatar. Show me how I can not show up on social media.
So that's the thing. Now you have built the script, and we can automate that whole process of building that script. Now you're gonna have that script and move it to AI. Now, Dasha, I mean, you have recorded videos for your social media for webinars. Recording that takes a toll on you. It really does. It's like, hey, I need to shoot this again because I kind of forgot my line, or I kind of doubted myself here. I need to redo that. If you have an avatar, an AI avatar that's going to do that for you, they don't mess up. They just, I mean, they already have that process. You're copying and pasting your script. Now they're just going to do that. So, um, the avatar is very interesting. We use a platform called Hagen, and this is anyone can use this. As I said, we have different processes to um, make it as optimized as possible. As any AI tool, and Dasha mentioned this before, every AI tool has their little in and outs, their little details that you need to play around with and kind of figure out, and that's going to take hours and hours on end. Hagen is a platform that will recreate your avatar. I mean, you can upload your recording, and from there, it's gonna duplicate you, take your audio as well, and duplicate your voice, and you can just copy and paste your scripts using the SOPs that we have on uh, grabbing people's attention, and you're gonna have infinite amount of videos for yourself. From there, you can take that avatar and move it to another different app. You can add captions, you can add photos, extra videos to support your statement. But the avatar is going to be one of the, I mean, it's going to be the base, right? It's going to be the foundation of that video. So, how do you go into Hagen? You just hagen.com, you create a new account. It's free to use, but I would recommend you guys getting a paid account. That's because the free version is going to limit you to just a set of videos. I believe that's just 3 videos a month. And if you're really active on social media, 3 videos is not going to cut it, right? So once you get into Hagen, you're gonna create new avatar that's gonna replicate yourself. There's also options where you can use avatars that are pre-made for you. I mean, if you want Santa for whatever reason on your social media, you can have that. But if you want to create a new avatar, you have two options. You can start with a photo or you can start with a video. If you upload a photo of yourself, what it's going to do, it's going to use AI to move your mouth, to move your eyes, and then you're going to upload your audio to have that. But if you want something that looks very realistic, something that actually moves, like you can move your hands, you fix your hair. Before the before recording this podcast or webinar, I showed Dasha this avatar that we have made for another coach, where whilst they were recording the training material for the avatar, she fixed her hair and moved her hands a lot, and that really transmits through the actual avatar that you're going to replicate.
Okay, so it's really
So,
important when you click
mhm,
start with the video to have something that you're like doing some sort of natural fidgeting multiple times throughout it. How long is the
yeah.
video?
So the recommendation is going to be a minimum of 2 minutes.
Okay.
If you really want to make it pop, to look very realistic, you can get up to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Couple tips, pro tips here. Be as natural as possible. You can just read a script, you can read a book, um, whatever you want to do. Just talk to the camera, very natural. Um, the more
Have
you
you
talk, the better the avatar is going to get. Go ahead.
Have you tried recording the video? So I'm imagining someone walks around me and I'm multiple, like from multiple angles, being like, touching my hair and have you tried like a 360 video capture, or do you recommend Dasha just sit in front of your camera like this as you normally would and make those hand gestures as you normally talk?
Absolutely. So what we like to do with our coaches to make it feel more natural on social media is to have different avatars with different what we call looks. So you can be looking straight to the camera, and then you can position a different camera, let's say to the side, or you can move yourself to the side. So it looks like you have a different angle, right? You can absolutely do this whilst you're walking. Let's say you're walking in the park or you're in the gym, um, whatever you want to do, or you're in the kitchen whilst you're cooking, you can absolutely do that. My only recommendation for you to have a top-notch avatar is going to be have good light where the camera can recognize your face very well. Try to avoid a lot of background noise. It has an option for you to reduce background noise naturally. But if it's, for example, in a coffee shop that's too busy, that audio is going to filter through. It's going to mess up your narration a little bit. There's no problem if you're walking through the park, for example, and you hear birds chirping in the background. That's not a problem at all. But if you're in a coffee shop, there's a lot of people talking, that can really mess it up. Um, as long as you have a background that's stable enough, I mean, I wouldn't want you guys to record yourself on the highway where there's multiple trucks and cars and everything going around, because that can also mess it up. If you're sitting on your office, your kitchen, as I said, where the background is semi-stable, shouldn't be an issue. And with different angles as well. You can also record from your phone. You can upload the videos. We're gonna see that in a moment. So if I do start one video, the app does a
Want to
great.
create an instant or lifestyle?
I'm gonna pause this. The app does a great job at walking through the process and the tutorials, as you can see. It's super straight to the point. So I recommend you watching this video before starting. But we're gonna skip that for now. You're gonna click get started, and you're gonna see a lot of the recommendations. Some things that I already walked you guys through. Make sure that the lighting is cool. Something that I saw one of my coaches do recently, they recorded themselves right next to the window, and the sun will blow out on their back, so their face will look very unnatural. And also when you're switching angles, it's going to look very awkward, because in one angle you have like the whole sun and very light up in your background. When you switch to a different angle, you're not going to see that. So just make sure that the lighting is correct. And of course, we can walk you through that process of, we can jump on a call, we can help you set up that light and where to record as well. Pro tip as well, before you start recording, I'm gonna do next here. Make sure you talk slowly. And what I mean slowly is not that I'm saying, hey, Dasha, now we, right? I don't mean that. What I mean is take your pauses, take your time. So let's say I'm going to read this throughout here. The best way to read this would be for optimal, most realistic results. We recommend uploading a 2-minute recorded with a high resolution camera or smartphone. Take a pause, and then move to the next sentence. That's really going to help the avatar taking the best movements not only of your face but also of the audio. They give you three different options here. You can upload your own footage. So if you have that on your phone, let's say, if you recorded that on your phone or using a professional camera, you can record that, upload that to Google Drive or on your computer and just upload that directly. You can record using the webcam, which that's what I'm going to do right now, or record using your phone. You're going to scan the code, it's going to send you through an app, and you're going to record using your phone, which can be a little bit easier for some people. How are we doing so far, Dasha?
Awesome. I'm so excited.
Okay, so let's see. A little bit awkward on my hair, but that's okay.
You look great. Keep going.
Thank you. um, all right, I have my microphone here, which is my FirePods, which I named my AirPods a little bit different so I can know which ones are mine. So I'm going to do record, and we're going to do they give you a few different options. So you can do freestyle, tell us about yourself, tell us about your hometown, whatever you're going to do. I'm going to do freestyle so we can keep talking, Dasha, and I'm going to use that conversation that we're going to have to train that avatar in the meantime. So I'm going to do start recording.
Okay, cool.
So Dasha, as I said, and let's go through the recommendations that we had earlier. Just make sure that your lighting is okay. I have a lamp right next here to me, just to make sure that we have like that extra spice. I'm also sitting in front of the window, not with the window on my back. That makes sure that I have natural lighting hitting my face. Um, so that's going to be very useful. A couple of things that you might want to do to spice up your avatar and make it look more realistic is you can play with your hair maybe, you can move, you can fix your glasses, move your hands around. That's really going to help the avatar, as I said, understand those movements. You can do different angles. If you want to do a different angle, you're gonna have to do this process all over again. If, for example, I were to move myself to the right, like I did before, to have another angle, that won't work. What it's going to do is that the avatar is going to think that's just one movement and it's going to move myself around like it shouldn't do. If you want to have that different angle, the best way is going to be start this process again. You need to do this just once or whenever you want to refresh your content. A lot of our coaches, what they do is they start their first avatar with one shirt, record the same avatar with a different angle, and then they switch outfits. Maybe they change up your shirt, add a hat, whatever it is, so it can look like you have different recordings of yourself on the avatar instead of just looking exactly the same every single webinar, every single social media post. What I've seen some coaches and some other professionals on the medical area to avoid that, they usually use their uniform, which can be a scrub, or if you have your logo on your t-shirt, that should be more than enough. It still looks professional, and you don't have to um, create a lot of different avatars. But that's really up to you and how much you want to switch it up. With Hagen, you get different options, and it's going to limit the amount of avatars that you have set up for yourself. But you can always upgrade that to get more avatars. Something I just noticed I said a lot of that's not going to come through the avatar, of course. What it's going to do is just take my audio, take my voice tone, take my accent and my pronunciation, and replicate that for the future. Dasha, do you have any questions for me so far so we can use a little bit more time?
To talk during your avatar build?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
ahead.
It's only taking my audio.
Oh, you're so right. I was trying to stay silent. for you. How long? I thought the video only needed to be 2 minutes long, it said.
It only needs to be 2 minutes long. My recommendation is that you can get up to 10 minutes. The more you talk to the avatar, similar to ChatGPT, the more you talk to it, the more it's going to learn about you.
Okay.
Again, what it's going to do is replicate your voice, your movements, and your face. But we can
Let's
stop it right here.
Yeah, let's
Mhm.
just stop it and see what it was able to make so that coaches know. And you can kind of give an example of like what it gives at this point and then what you guys usually generate with other examples.
So it's going to give you two options once you're done recording. AI background removal allows background changes and removal when using this avatar. So this is great if you want to. I don't know if you have seen those TikToks where they kind of position themselves like if they were on a green screen. You can do that, and you can keep ambient sounds. Again, if you're in a coffee shop or in a park, can hear the birds chirping. I'm on my apartment right now, so we will need that. But I'm gonna hit next. And then it's gonna ask you to start a different recording, which is just a consent that you are going to record your avatar. Of course, this is just for security reasons. I can't just copy and paste. For example, if I want to copy and paste a celebrity, I can't do that unless they give consent through a video. So I'm just gonna do start recording and they give you the script. I, Roberto Vargas, hereby allow HeyGen to use the footage of me to build a HeyGen avatar for use on the HeyGen platform. For safety purposes, this is the passcode SYIM. It's going to take a few minutes, not a few minutes, a few seconds to upload that. But once you're done, you're just uh, basically done with the avatar. Again, you only have to record this once. Consent is validated, and it's going to give you a few recommendations of what you could have done better. So, well lit environment is what I did good, strong background contrast, expressive facial movements, subtle body movements, camera is stable. uh Maybe I knocked my laptop around, but it's okay. I'm going to do submit. I'm going to do done. I'm going to do Rob V1 is going to upload here in a minute. So while this is uploading, what we can do for you guys is create that script. So going back to the scripting piece, how do you really think about content and how to put out value right there and up there? Something that we do through our SOPs is I'm going to send you a set of questions, Dasha, that you're going to answer on just a Google Doc, and we're going to use that Google Doc to train a different AI tool to create those scripts using our exact same formula so we can move that to HeyGen. You're going to see that, and I'm going to stop sharing here while it uploads. You're going to see that with HeyGen, once you copy and paste your script, there's going to be a lot of little details. And if you have used any other AI tool that replicates voice, you're going to notice the same. If you put a comma somewhere that's not supposed to be, or let's say a punctuation mark, whatever it is, or the way that you separate sentences is going to sound a little bit different. We already have figured out those kinks with HeyGen and what works best when creating that script with your avatar. So we're going to take that Google Doc with your questions. We're going to send that to you. You're going to answer those questions, and based on those questions, we're going to create new scripts. I always like to tell my coaches, don't think too hard about those questions that we're going to send. Just think of it as if you're talking to a client, as if you're talking to a friend. A lot of people just try to be super formal on their explanations, and that's not really the point. What we really want to do with those questions is really understand your value prop. Every single coach is going to have to a different direction in how they teach their clients, how they explain a process. And as you said at the beginning when we started recording, like that little secret sauce that everyone has.
Yeah, so they could basically just take the script that they have now as a beginning, prompt it. I'm sure you guys all have already, if you haven't already used ChatGPT to create your ICP and teach it all about those things, that might be another training that I need to do. Um, but you just feed the two together, and maybe it'll generate you the scripts using both strategies, and then you can import it into HeyGen when you start using it.
Absolutely. Um, as I said, like Hagen does a good enough job if you want to play around with it. But really figuring out those kinks, those in and outs of how to structure that script within Hagen to make sure that it sounds natural, it's where you're probably going to spend the most time. And after grabbing that avatar, editing the video, adding captions, B-roll, supporting photos, videos, that's also going to take a little bit more time. And I think that's a conversation for another day, Dasha, on how to edit videos using AI as well. But we have all of this process narrowed down. What I like to tell my coaches is after answering your questions, you're hands off, and we're going to deliver not only the avatar, but the full edited video with the whole shebang, the whole thing.
So,
And all you're
Rob,
going to do is download. Yes.
I wasn't planning on asking you this, but in the past when um, we've had guests on to share what they do with AI, they have Sean has given us an offer and for us. So,
Okay.
do you have a surprise that I know you already are giving us so much value from the prompt itself? How, if I wanted, can you tell me more about what you do and what your business does? It'll kind of serve as an intro as well.
Of course. So what we do is codamarketing.xyz. If you want to look up the website, we are an operationalized video editing agency, and by operationalized, I mean we do the whole process for you. You'll find that if you hire a video editor or a different video agency, they're only going to do the actual video editing. I started this company a few years ago, like 5 years ago at this point, doing YouTube videos. And the reason why the agency was born is a lot of friends and family asked me, like, hey, I need help with the overall strategy. Ever since then, we have created a lot of SOPs, a lot of training material for our video editors. And on the past few years, couple of years, where AI has been really the front forward for a lot of business is training our team to use AI tools and speed up the whole process. So, Dasha, the offer that I have for all the coaches here listening to us right now, we can do all of this, what we just showed, the scripting, the avatars, the video editing, for all of you to be ready and really don't focus on that part of your business. Really focus on I want to transmit that value. We have an offer that starts at 1,500 a month. Now, because you're listening here and our whole relationship, Dasha, we're gonna take $150 off of anyone that comes through you, anyone through comes through this community, and we can get started right away. The amount of videos we are looking at a minimum of 12 videos a month with that package, but we work on time blocks. That package is going to allow you to have 10 hours of our team, whether that's project managers, video editors, whatever you need on that side to work on your stuff. So we have different videos that you need to work on, whether that's avatars or even a VSL, for example, that you need us to edit. We can handle that no problem, whether that's an avatar or just full on recording. Of course, right now we're focusing on avatars and AI. That's going to be the best option. As of right now, if you really want to scale and not spend any time at all recording videos for
Yeah,
social
I
media.
don't. So you're telling me for 13.50 a month, you
Mhm.
will make my avatar, and I don't even have to show up on social media.
Not at all. All you have to do is, hey Rob, how are you doing?
Stay tuned
Yeah,
for Dasha.ai on social media because that would be so helpful. Yeah,
yeah. So go ahead.
I was gonna say on my docket today, like the next thing that I have to do is start scripting, and it's just like with my teleprompter, and I'm like, oh. But that sounds so awesome. So thank you for sharing, and we're
Of
excited. And
course.
I don't know, and maybe someone will is interested in that, and will contact you, and we'll put that in the show note.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part, as you put it, like you don't have to do anything. As I said, like you didn't start this business to record videos. You didn't start this business to edit those videos. You would really want to help people and transmit value. So if you can be out there in social media without having to do it, like
Yeah.
that's great. And a lot of coaches, a lot of entrepreneurs have really seen a lot of value. I mean, in this past 3 months, we have onboarded 15 people, and this next month, we are going to onboard an extra 20, and that's only this year. And we have been doing this process for the past three. Um,
That's awesome. So show us, so say I don't want to do this. I am the entrepreneur and I'm like, screw hiring people. I'm not ready for that. I want to wear the 10 hats. Show us what happened with HeyGen.
Yeah, so this is going to be the Heijen. It just finished
Hey,
the,
Roberto,
can
created
you hear
videos
that?
with it.
So as
Was
you can
that?
see, that's me. I'm using my AirPods right now, and
Oh,
you,
okay.
and you can do that from scratch, and you can do different type of videos. Just gonna do next and got it.
Not too
Create
bad.
with AI. So yeah, and that's again, we only use what, 3 minutes, and I'm gonna do the script, and you can have the accent. You can do English US, and you can retrain your avatar with using a better microphone or just super silent and have that voice for yourself, which we have done in the past. So what I'm gonna do is gonna take a script that I have for you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste that. Quick tip is after you do your script, try to create a new line for every single sentence. Make sure that you have a, how would I put this? That you have a different line for every single sentence so that the avatar can really understand what you're talking about. So for example, I copy and paste this from my script. This is a big no-no because it's just going to try to read it all on one line. Yeah,
Mhm.
at once. So I'm just gonna hit enter. Oop, I hit enter when I shouldn't. But okay, let's do here. There's a different sentence. There's a different sentence right here. Then I can do here, let's say. I'm gonna
Okay,
fix
so this
this
is
real
how it
quick.
lets you have more than one person probably in the video too, right?
That is correct. So if I wanted to have, you can even do this with multiple people. So you can have your business partner here, um, whoever you wanted, your assistant,
Client.
whoever you wanted here, even a client, of course, you can have it here. And you can, if I click this plus button right here, I can add a scene. And this is where I meant like you can add that different angle that you wanted to do. But right now we only have that one angle. So I'm going to just drag and drop my avatar throughout the script, which is only 25 seconds long. And again, take in mind that we recorded this with only 3 minutes of us having this conversation. The audio and the movements can be improved a lot more if we actually follow the SOPs and the whole process that we have. Again, this is only going to be needed once. So if you do that very good at the beginning when you first record your avatar, you're good to go. So I'm going to hit play here. As you can see, the avatar won't move, and what you're going to be able to do is listen. Okay, so a couple of notes here. If you're going to notice that, but real life isn't linear and neither is great content, it sounds very robotic. So what you can do is, but life isn't linear, and let's do an exclamation mark and have this in a different slide. Just going to do the end here. It's going to change the pronunciation. So there's a lot of play that you have to do when listening to the avatar. A lot of things that you need to move around, move to a different line, move to a different sentence, an
But what if
exclamation
the moment
mark.
that
Okay,
needed?
you hear that? So an exclamation mark, but it's kind of screwed up. Even here at the end, like middle and end. So there's a lot of play that you have to do. I'm gonna just leave
I'm
it
already
as is.
exhausted. I'm like, I would rather just record it at this point.
Yeah, so that's the thing. If we follow the process that we have, we already know that, as I mentioned before, those kinks that Heijin has of, hey, we need to move the sentences around, we need to, I mean, redo the script, even sometimes change a little bit of the wording so it matches what we have. So you can name your video, add a folder, etc., submit it anyway.
How do you make when how do you make the avatar move? Because yours was just a picture.
Yeah. So on that initial process, or not that initial process, what I was just showing is you're gonna listen through the audio. The reason why it's not moving, it's because it first works through the audio in case you need to move things around, move sentences, etc. Because it's going to try to match the audio to your mouth, right? As you can see, it's loading right here, 22% ready. So we're gonna wait just a couple of seconds. Based off of that, we're gonna have that avatar. I'm gonna reshare once it's done. But yeah, again, take in mind we did that avatar in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you even have an avatar this quickly, and it's, I mean, if you, at the end of the day, if you watch this and then you go and do it yourself, it probably would take the 10 minutes or the 15 minutes
Yeah,
just to record. You
yeah,
have all
absolutely.
the tricks at this point. I'm debating if I want to see the you version of like once your team has edited it from the final product versus what is about to be put out right now. Oh, it's
All
already
right,
ready.
it's already ready, so it's quite fast.
Yeah,
Um, and
let's
you can
see.
do, I mean, even if you wanted to translate this video,
Hmm.
you can do that with AI. Let's say you wanted this video to be in Spanish, French, because you have a lot of clients on that side. Um, you can do that just a translate button. You can even change accents, which is very cool. But we're not going to try this today. I'm just going to show you how the end product or the end product of the avatar.
Not too bad.
Not too bad, just for a couple of minutes. The avatar looks very natural. As you might have noticed, a mistake that I did, I was not looking directly to the camera.
Hmm.
Right here, I was looking to
Yeah.
my monitor up here, but
Yeah.
I'm not looking directly. If I'm looking directly to the camera like here, I mean, it looks very natural, the movement. What you need to play around a lot more and actually spend time on is how you place that script and how you do those punctuations and move the sentences around so it doesn't sound as. But what if the moment that
Oh,
matters comes last?
that's awesome. All right, show us the grand finale of of a different edited video that was completely generated by you that this person spent no time on, you just delivered to them as one of their videos for the month from your company.
Absolutely. And I
That's,
hope my, I hope the client doesn't mind us sharing. But I'm gonna do,
I mean, it's on
let's
social
share.
media anyways, right?
It is correct. You're right. Let's see, just going through my folders here. So part of what we do here at Coda is we're going to send you not only the final edits, but we're also going to give you access to one of our softwares for you to add any kind of revisions. If anyone has worked with a creative agency, you're going to see, we're going to be familiar with this process, which is Frame.io from Frame.io. This is a software that we are going to provide you with. We are going to upload the videos. And the cool thing about Frame.io is that you can leave any kind of revisions that you want. So for example, you can say like, hey, can we add my name on top? And you can even create a little square here to make sure that we're seeing that revision and you're gonna see it send. And my editors are going to know exactly what kind of revision you're gonna need, which is a great process.
What's this
Um,
platform called?
It's called Frame.io, and this is not a video editing platform. This is just going to be the way that we send you the videos, and you're going to ask for any revisions that you might have. As you can see, the audio is a lot better, the way she pronounces the words, the positions, the sentences. So this is one example. She wanted something very, very simple in the terms of editing, but we can also do a heavier editing. I'm not going to have an example for the heavy editing on an avatar, but I can show you an example that's a lot harder to do in real life. Um, let's see. This is Lance. He's a coach that helps you invest or protect your money on the future. So we can do this type of editing if you wanted to, if that's according to your brand.
What?
A little bit
Because
more
there's so much
animation, a little bit
misinformation out
heavier
there. And even
editing
you
on
have
that
the
front.
financial
That's really up
gurus
to
such as
you how
Dave
you want that
Ramsey and
brand.
some others who will tout
Again,
and
we
say,
can do this
watch
with the
out for the
avatar,
life
no
Mute
insurance.
problem
it
at all.
because we can't hear anything you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We couldn't
I
hear
forgot
anything.
it shows out.
Yeah, but that's awesome. That's so cool. All right. Well, I'm glad that we were able to learn how to use HeyGen. It's so cool. I think it's probably one of those things where just like she did where it's like a little bit of a clip from her and then mainly like other clips, but I think for someone like in gut health and hormone health, it's so easy for us to do that because we just say like these are the worst five supplements for whatever. And then it's just like five clips or something like that. And I'm sure maybe even the editors could probably put in like B roll that I have of like myself training or me walking in the grocery store that I already have like filled in. So it's almost like a combination of AI avatar and realistic video.
Yeah, so what we like to do with our coaches is that we set up a Google Drive folder but they can upload any kind of videos, photos that you have, so we can use real live B-roll that you guys have. In the example that I showed, that client, they don't want to touch anything, they just want the videos done. They don't even want to record that B-roll. So it's really up to you and what you want for your brand. If you want more realistic B-roll, you can share that with us through the Google Drive and we can include it. If you want to do a more complicated video like the one that I showed before, we can also do that as well, which includes animation, movement, and whatnot.
How quickly do you think we'll be able to have HeyGen working at the capacity we wish?
Heijen has done a lot of progress in the past 6 months. Um,
I thought the same thing. I was like, give it 6 more months and this thing is going to be good to go.
Yeah, so to give everyone a little bit of an understanding, 6 months ago, Heijian wouldn't include movement and gestures. Right now, they're working on a feature that you want to upload a photo of you doing this. You can click on the avatar and it's like, hey, at this second, you want to have the avatar do this,
Six
which
months
is,
ago, it was like this, and I had a
oh,
sixth finger kind of thing. I remember
yes,
when it just came out, it was like, oh, like that's really
yes,
bad. Now it's like, oh, wait, I'm getting a little bit confused. And that's where
hmm
it's like, oh, we're on the brink. Like that next six
yeah.
months, I think they're gonna fine tune it. So thank you so much, Rob. That is so helpful, so exciting. Maybe this is the 6 month bridge and gap that you guys want until they perfect it, and at least get you started with not having to actually show up on social media because no one likes to do that.
Yes, and I keep repeating myself here, but you didn't start your business to edit videos and create videos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
this
always
is
a
like
reminder,
tools.
whether it's something, and that's the whole thing with AI. It's like, where can I buy back my time so that I can actually focus on being human, showing up for my patients and clients, and giving them the true human experience so that I can charge more, right? It's my actual time that I'm spending with you. So, yes, thank you so much, Rob. It was a pleasure to have you. We appreciate all your resources and your help.
Of course, pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.